tape. It's a blustery day at this airfield as 75-year-old thrill-seeker Bob prepares for his very first skydive.
First and last.
But Bob needn't be worried. He'll be strapped securely to the back of a certified skydiving instructor.
He's my partner. He's my lifeline.
Due to his teacher's extensive experience, the final rehearsal goes off without a hitch. And after a flawless ascent, they're ready to jump. At last, it's time for Bob's big moment. They position themselves carefully. And there they go! And here they stay. Looks like the expert forgot to unfasten his seatbelt, and now he's flying by the seat of his pants. And poor Bob's dangling 10,000 feet up. The instructor struggles to pull Bob back into the plane, but there's too much wind. So the man holding the camera comes to the rescue with a good, swift kick. Now, surprisingly, that doesn't work. So he resorts to plan B. He cuts them loose with a knife. And with great relief, the men glide to a safe landing. Still shaken, Bob sums up his harrowing ordeal.
That's weird. I couldn't see, I couldn't hear anything. I didn't know what was happening. I was just dangling out there.
And what about the absent-minded instructor? If he wants to keep his job, he better not leave any more of his students hanging. When Mark Vaughn locked himself out of the house, he got stuck trying to shimmy down the chimney. Luckily, the fire department arrived in the nick of time. After hours of hitting the bricks, rescue workers finally free the trapped man. How did Mark's foolproof plan go so wrong?
I'm kind of pudgy. When I got down there, and the opening looked like I would be able to get through it. And next thing I know, stuck like Chuck.
But incredibly, the tight squeeze resulted in a rare moment of clarity.
I was all the way down to the bottom. Then I realized.
What could his mind-blowing revelation possibly have been?
I'm stupid.
No. And what else did Mark learn on his little adventure?
Listen to your mother-in-law. Don't climb down chimneys. And probably that I need to lose weight.
And maybe carrying a spare key isn't a bad idea either. This woman is learning how to pilot a speedboat.
I tell you to turn. Aye.
But she's about to get a lesson she'll never forget.
Hey, move over to your left.
Seems the captain forgot to tell his first mate the first rule of boating. Wear a seatbelt. Thankfully, both are wearing life preservers. Because the boat is racing away with no one at the helm. Maybe next time this clueless teacher thinks about giving a lesson,
Straight now.
he'll remember to buckle up. The only thing Hank Schiffer loves more than his dogs is breakfast. But Hank's a few eggs shy of an omelet. So he herds his hounds into the van and heads for the market. But his favorite shortcut is flooded.
They had some city workers saying, stop, don't go through. I usually don't pay too much attention to that because they usually over-exaggerate, and I didn't feel like going all the way around.
So he ignores their warnings and takes the plunge right into a sinkhole, leaving Hank with a sinking feeling. Now he's really got to scramble to get out. Fortunately, Hank, his dogs, and even his van survive.
They used 2 tow trucks, one with a boom to raise it high.
But always optimistic, Hank sees the bright side. At least they fixed his favorite shortcut. A family gathers to celebrate Dad's new raise. But he's sitting a little too close to the fireplace. And now that paycheck is burning a hole in his pocket. Luckily, he finds a seat in a nearby bathtub that's more to his liking. This working stiff has always been a good provider for his family. But he never thought he'd have money to burn. Matt Anderson of St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin has a dream to soar like a bird. There's only one problem.
Yeah, I'm afraid of heights. It's mostly the fear of falling from the heights.
Regardless, Matt buys a used 30-year-old hang glider from a total stranger for $25.
All right, let's go.
He tries running, but he can't get enough lift, so his flight is grounded. But Matt's no quitter, so he tethers himself to the back of a snowmobile. But that doesn't work either.
I didn't have any instruction at all.
Hard to believe. But the third time's a charm. The driver guns the engine, and Matt soars triumphantly into the sky. But what goes up must come down.
There's problems.
I hit the ground really hard.
Maybe that's because it was frozen. A medevac helicopter comes to the rescue.
I feel pretty good right now. All right.
And Matt's dream finally comes true. He's flying. Thankfully, Matt's okay, but his soaring days are over. This bird brain's wings have been clipped. A freight train speeds down the track near Toledo, Ohio. But a closer look reveals a scary sight. No one is at the throttle. A half-witted controller fell asleep at the switch down at the train yard, and now this locomotive is on the loose. And to make matters worse, it's pulling tanker cars filled with highly flammable liquid.
We observed several cars that were tanker cars that were displaying hazardous material placards.
So how do you stop a treacherous train that's traveling faster than a speeding bullet? You use a speeding bullet.
I used a buckshot round to attempt to engage the fuel safety shutoff switch.
Turns out the guy who let the train get loose in the first place called Sergeant Glenn with a direct order. Shoot to kill. And guess what? Doesn't work. So the train speeds on. Until finally, a hero comes forward, willing to risk his own life to stop this menace. And he chickens out. So someone else has to do it. Another man jumps aboard, makes his way into the engineer's cabin, and with a mighty pull of the throttle, brings the Iron Giant to a halt, much to the relief of Sergeant Glenn.
I did not want to go through the situation again.
And it's not likely he'll be asked to. Because the only thing that got derailed today was the train controller's career. These fun-loving friends are as thick as the mud they're stuck in. While videotaping their off-road outing, they attempt to climb this incredibly steep hill. It's an uphill battle. But they don't stop. These bozos keep going.
Oh, don't get stuck there, dude.
Now their camera's not the only thing that's rolling.
Oh, shoot.
That's great,
At least the truck's owner is taking it well. Fortunately, these adventure seekers are fine, except for one little problem. They're stranded in the middle of nowhere. Well, at least now they'll have plenty of time to think about their stupid behavior. On her way home from Chicago's O'Hare Airport, this woman made an illegal turn.
You probably missed it, but there's 4 signs back there that say no left turn.
Oh, don't give me a ticket, honest to God, please.
Oh, let me... Wait, before we continue, let me see your driver's license, then maybe we can talk about something.
Well, it's not going to be much of a conversation, because this loony lady won't let the cop get a word in edgewise.
Well, I don't know where it is, okay? It's here, so I
Calm
don't know
down
where it
for a
is.
second so
But
you
I
don't
mean
get...
it, you understand?
It seems she not only lost her license, she's lost her mind.
I'm so mad I can scream right now. I'm so furious.
Okay, what are you doing now?
I don't know, I'm looking for my driver's license.
Okay, let me close this door. There's no reason to have the door open. You're going to get your door taken off.
Do you mind if I take my car apart? Do you mind?
It's your car. You can do whatever you want.
Except maybe shoving her door into this public official's private parts.
I'm like furious. I can't believe I don't have I know it's here, but I don't know where it is. You understand how furious I am? I need this. Oh!
It turns out that when this woman was at the airport, she left her license behind after writing a check.
Because I went to take my daughter and paid $1, and I had to write a check to O'Hare Parking because I didn't have my money with me.
Wonder why her daughter wanted to leave town.
He gave it back to me. I thought he did, the son of a gun. I don't know. I don't know where it is. He gave it back to me, and I don't know where it is.
It's all right. Don't worry. You don't need it right now. Don't worry about it right now. Well, you don't. Not to get this upset about it.
Well, I do. It pisses me off. You understand?
Calm down for a second.
He gave it back to me. I think he did. I don't know. Maybe he did.
Why don't you?
Although the driver from hell continues her verbal assault, this officer displays the patience of a saint.
Damn it.
Ma'am, grab all your stuff first.
Oh, who cares?
I don't want it to blow away on you here, ma'am.
Who gives a
Finally, the officer's had enough and tries to silence the motor mouth with a ticket.
Ma'am.
You mean you charged me $75 to make that turn?
I'm not charging you $75, ma'am. That's what the court. That's what the state law says. See,
I don't have $75.
Maybe she could write a check if she had her ID. Perhaps next time this overwrought woman is pulled over, she should exercise her right to remain silent.
Have a safe day, ma'am.
Gary Kays believes a man's home is his castle. Nothing could get him to leave this little slice of paradise. Not even a killer tornado. During a raging storm, a twister touches down and heads straight for Gary's house.
The newscast said it was a tornado alert, take shelter. So my first reaction was just grab the camera and start filming it.
Good thinking. So while his family huddles in the cellar, Gary marches out onto his front porch. Apparently, he's not struck by the danger of the situation. But he is struck by lightning.
Felt like I struck.
Gary will surely head for safety now. Surely not. Even when the cyclone takes out his neighbor's house, Gary is still not getting the picture. Seconds later, with the twister barreling toward him, a thought nonchalantly crosses Gary's mind. This could be bad.
I opened my other eye up that I wasn't looking through the camera with and realized this is probably the stupidest thing I could have ever done.
Finally, Mr. Spielberg comes to his senses and shuts off the camera. Gary eventually repairs his damaged home and learns a valuable lesson from his electrifying experience.
I'll never do it again. I'll be the first one in the cellar.
For a high-profile magazine ad, a foolish photographer decided it would be a good idea to wax the woman instead of the car. But now she's losing her grip.
Can you hold still for a minute? Great, that's great.
The cameraman can't hide his frustration.
No, stay there, don't move. Stay there.
Maybe he should just let it slide. The human hood ornament tries to hold on, but it's no use.
Yeah, I think we'll call it a wrap, and I think maybe we shouldn't oil you down next time.
That's the last time this photographer will ever shoot a slick ad like this. A couple of robbers break into a building and think they've hit the jackpot. The place is packed with boxes of high-tech electronic equipment. Though the crooks try to conceal their faces, they're still caught on camera. 25 different cameras. That's because the company they chose to rob sells security cameras.
Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 in this area alone, and I've got 3 out the back there. I've got another few out the front here. I've got some outside. So you have to be a bloody idiot to break into this store.
When this photogenic thief is featured on the nightly news, he's recognized and turned in by his own mother and invited downtown to pose for mugshots. Seems this outlaw didn't know all the angles after all. While pulling out of a parking space, this man dinged his rental car. Worried he'll be charged for repairs, the penny pincher decides to fix it on his own. Maybe a little gasoline on a bag will clean off the bumper smudge. But he's poking around where he shouldn't, and his finger gets stuck. He tries and tries to get free, but it's no use.
Can you turn your finger?
Eventually, firemen arrive to help him.
How you doing, Joe?
But they're perplexed. There must be a solution, but no one can quite put their finger on it. The rescuers rip out the entire gas line. Bet he wishes he'd bought that $6 worth of rental insurance now. After a quick lube job, the careless driver is finally freed. The tightwad worried that the damage to his rental car would cost him an arm and a leg. Instead, it nearly cost him a finger.
Have you seen something stupid? Were you smart enough to capture it on tape? Call us at 1-866-7-STUPID or log on to stupidvideo.com and we'll pay you a ridiculous amount of money for your tape.
While shooting a TV commercial, this company goes to great lengths to prove that their garden sheds are absolutely indestructible.
We're standing here in the western desert with Tom Tuff of Tuff Sheds.
Tom Tuff wants everyone to know that his product is the bomb.
Think your shed can handle the dynamite?
Are you kidding? Our sheds are tough sheds. And don't take no shit from no one.
Let's check it out. Here's take one.
Whoa!
I thought you knew what you were doing.
Hardly the ringing endorsement they were hoping for. But not to worry. Tom's got lots of other great ideas. Take two. This shed should hold up a truck.
Now that's a tough shed.
But now the truck's carting away the shed. Take three. Maybe they need something lighter, like a motorcycle. Finally, it looks like these sheds are tough enough. Oh! Or maybe we spoke too soon. Seems the only thing this commercial does is shed some light on their stupid behavior. Rancher Dave Cannon is a peaceful man, but when the city council vetoed his building permit, he decided to get revenge.
I'm a real nice chap, really, but people keeps coming down the road and picking on me.
So Dave figures he can fight City Hall by going into town and covering their headquarters with cow pies. Soon, Dave reaches his target and begins to fire away. And before long, the pristine building is covered in 8 tons of manure. Having successfully made his mark, the rancher rubs it in by tooting his own horn. There's just one little problem. He sprayed the wrong building. Dave didn't bother to check the address. Now he's the one who's in too deep.
You could see by the look on people's faces that they were wondering why I was there. People thought I was some kind of idiot.
I wonder why. Eventually, police invite Dave to visit their headquarters. And after a jury reviews this tape, Dave's gun-slinging days are over.
Action!
In a bold new move, this reggae singer branches out into rap music.
We need to succeed in this transaction!
While shooting a video for his new song, Take Action, Jamaican pop star Danny John Jules runs into a major obstacle. A tree. Looks like he's got a smash hit. This Rasta man is too focused on his close-up to see where he's going. So now, he'll have to hip-hop all the way to the hospital. A bucking bronco competition is saddled with a problem. The cheapskate who organized this event decided to stretch a flimsy piece of string around the ring instead of buying a fence. This angry beast easily breaks through and jumps into the parking lot. Looks like horseshoes aren't lucky for the owners of these cars. Thankfully, the horse wasn't injured. But when the guy responsible for this cut-rate rodeo gets the bill, he'd better be ready to pony up the dough. In Bristol, England, a shoplifter is chased onto the rooftops. Desperate to get away, the suspect keeps police at bay by bombarding them with bricks. A well-meaning tenant sees the fugitive outside her window and tries to talk him down.
I said, come on down, lad. I said, don't be so silly. You can't stay up there. Come on down.
But he has another idea. He thinks shimmying across this phone wire will keep the cops at a distance. But unfortunately, it's only a distance of 3 feet. The added weight of the stolen goods in the burglar's pockets drops him right into police custody. He'd get his one phone call if only the line wasn't down. A young couple prepares to exchange wedding vows. This is the happiest day of their lives, a memory that they will cherish forever. They take sweet sips from a golden chalice. But the bride seemed upset by something in the wine. Her front teeth. She remembered something old, something new, and something blue. Maybe she should have borrowed some denture glue. Now the groom really needs a drink. The bride prays that there is no tape in the camera as the minister concludes, "Speak now or forever hold your teeth." At a marlin fishing competition in St. Thomas, all this ship of fools needs to take home the gold is one more big catch. But after a long day of fishing, they're too fatigued to reel in the winner. Worried their prize money will slip away, crew member Jim O'Neill tells the captain to back up the boat so they can pull the fish in faster.
Back it up!
Unfortunately, there's one little problem with Jim's big plan.
Boats aren't made to go backwards. Most of them do dig like that, and it's not something you normally do.
But with their eyes on the prize, they back up anyway. And not long after, the ocean pours in. And so does a 300-pound marlin. And this fish is looking for a fight.
That fish was really mad. It came across and whacked me in the head, knocked me on the other side of the boat.
After Jim regains his sea legs, he has time to reflect.
So I learned something on that day, just to be a little bit smarter and just be safe.
Seems the marlin was able to slap some sense into this sailor after all. Coming up, this gymnast is about to take the gold in stupid behavior. The awkward athlete carefully positions himself in the right spot, psychs himself up, and lets her rip. Perhaps this guy thinks he can sway the judges by showing a little skin. Eventually, the men in tights decide not to leave their teammate hanging, and they come to his rescue. But it's too late. He's already been caught with his pants down. This muscle man thought he'd score big, but the judges thought he was just a big zero. This man claims to have sustained serious injuries on the job and is looking to collect big bucks from his insurance company. Unfortunately, his plan is lamer than he is.
Okay, he's got the door open. He's getting in slowly.
The faker carefully gets into his car, taking great pains not to trip himself up. But little does he know, the private investigator that's filming his every move is going to be the real pain in his neck.
Stand by. His vehicle's the brown Bronco.
The persistent PI follows him home. But this guy is going for a Best Actor award with his crutch in a supporting role. The detective stays on the case, and after a while, the man steps outside. Let's get out here. Without his crutch. This deep knee bend makes it clear he's bending the truth. The suspicious con man looks around to make sure no one is watching. Too bad he doesn't notice the guy with the video camera right across the street.
Mobile 1 to Mobile 2, stand by.
He captures this boneheaded blunder on tape. This maneuver is sure to get the careless scammer collared. Moments later, the miraculously cured man saunters outside again, this time hauling 2 heavy suitcases. He's off to the airport for a 2-week vacation. He even hops up into the driver's seat. a spring in his step as he dashes off to Hawaii. But after the cops get this tape, he won't be lying out in the sun. He'll be enjoying a 30-day paid vacation courtesy of the local sheriff. Maybe he'll think twice the next time he wants to rip off his insurance company. After a night in a bar, this man decided to sleep it off in his brand new car. But his anti-theft system is idiot-proof, and he's locked in. The clueless beer guzzler may not know how to operate the door locks, but he's figured out the cup holders. Police arrive when they hear the man honking for help and try to get a handle on the situation.
Is there anything in there about the locking mechanism?
But it's going to take some manual labor to spring this drunken prisoner. Even a Slim Jim can't unlock this car. Finally, a window of opportunity opens, and the car owner climbs out. Our hungover hero freshens up to deliver his statement.
Don't drive and drink. That's about it.
Since he wasn't actually driving under the influence, the cops let him go. Perhaps they thought he'd already spent enough time in lockup. A bandit enters a British bank and gives the teller a note demanding money. But instead of handing over the funds, the teller triggers the security shield. Realizing he's not getting the cash, the robber tries to escape. But no matter how hard he pushes the door, it just won't budge. Imprisoned in the lobby, the suspect begins to shout empty threats. The robber paces, unaware that the door's unlocked, and he's only being held captive by his own stupidity. It seems that when push comes to shove, the only four-letter word this foul-mouthed felon doesn't know is pull. A policeman pulls over a suspected drunk driver.
Come on out here for me, Stuart.
He wants to find out if the fellow in the leather chaps is actually intoxicated.
Let's give you a couple of voluntary roadside sobriety exercises.
The cop tries to put the leather man through his paces.
5, 6, 7, 8.
But it soon becomes clear this cowboy has spent too much time in the saloon. Suddenly, things take a turn for the worse. These chaps are backless. Even though this man was arrested for drunk driving, he's lucky they didn't book him for possession of crack. In Gorda, Spain, a first-time matador practices his moves. Unfortunately, the bull has already perfected his. When El Toro retreats, the novice bullfighter does the dumbest thing possible. He follows. That turns the quiet creature into a raging bull. The bull-headed hombre tries to stand his ground, but he's no match for this beast. Finally, this amateur wisely decides to quit and leave the bullfighting to the pros. During a routine patrol, a police officer is passed by a speeding driver with a flagrant disregard for the law.
Southbound on South Park Lane at a high rate of speed.
It's easy for the cop to play catch-up, because incredibly, she signals before every turn.
We're turning west on Hemlock.
This must be the most polite high-speed chase on record. This courteous fugitive even signals before ripping across this residential lawn. But this race is just getting started.
We're in the alley now, heading north.
It's post time. And they're off. Again. Eventually, the driver signals one last turn into her own driveway. The officer calls it in.
Houses were out on Oakhurst, 1104 Oakhurst.
And moments later, backup arrives. The woman is arrested, signaling an end to her driving career. Miss Manners is going to jail. But she'll probably get out on good behavior. Never let it be said that Jerry Davis won't go out of his way to help a friend. When his pal, the fellow with the broken leg, wants to go parasailing, Jerry and another man volunteer to steady him. When the boat pulls away, the man in the orange trunks wisely lets go. But Jerry foolishly hangs on.
Drop off. What is he doing? Drop off.
Let go!
Within seconds, Jerry is flying into the air, and he's way too high to hop off.
Now get up there, 200 feet.
Telling me.
Realizing he's in for the long haul, Jerry tries to hang on and enjoy the ride. But there's one little problem. His friend is covered with slippery suntan oil. Jerry loses his grip and plummets 200 feet to the ocean below.
Some people don't even survive it, that.
But amazingly, he does survive the fall.
Dumb What the hell's wrong with you, man? Don't do that again, Jerry.
And what does it feel like to hit the water at 100 miles per hour?
Just bend over and imagine a fire hose. I can't come up with a better scenario than that. Very tough to sit after that.
Doctors examine Jerry and determine the single factor that saved his life.
Got a big butt, so the doctor said that really protects it and pads it. It's the truth.
You gotta say, Jerry has backbone.
Drop off. What is he doing?
And in the end, that's exactly what saved him. On a busy British shopping street, two women go for the same parking space. Julie Brown, in the white car, pulls in first. But the loony lady in red isn't going to give up without a fight. She steps on the gas and tries to push out the white car. But with Julie's foot on the brake, red is just spinning her wheels.
The lady started making gestures and said, "This is my space, and if you don't move out of it, I'll push you out."
Julie figures the foul-mouthed motorist is all talk. But when she heads off to feed the meter, the hothead in red decides to take out her frustration on Julie's car. Julie's son tries to stop her, but the idiotic driver of the red car forces her way into the spot. The nutcase gets the $2 parking space. And all it cost her was a $600 transmission job. Police pull over a suspicious car and wonder what's stashed in the trunk.
No, do you have any trouble in looking? No.
But this guy must be on something, because he invites the cops to open his trunk, which is filled with marijuana. The police cuff the suspect, lock him in the cruiser's back seat, and prepare to take him in. The man takes a moment to reflect, then calmly, quietly accepts his fate.
Oh, I can't believe it! Oh, no! 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 God, I can't believe it! Oh, my God! Ah! Oh, my God! Help me! Help me, God! Help me!
Clearly, this man doesn't realize he's being recorded.
No! Please, no! No, please! Please, no!
Eventually, the crazed suspect gets the cops' attention.
What was that?
Were you hauling late? No, it's around the street, darling.
But he'll have plenty of time to calm down and think about his stupid behavior while he's serving time in the joint.
Oh, no! Please, no!
15-year-old Randy Lyon sets up his video camera and prepares to perform a stunt on his new ATV. He wants to show the girls at school how tough he really is. But it turns out Randy's got a sensitive side, too. Thankfully, Randy has no broken bones, no sprains, In fact, hardly even a scratch. The only thing hurt is his pride.
I thought it was kind of embarrassing, but anybody else would have cried too, so even though I wasn't really crying.
Eventually, Randy pulls himself together. But when his mother sees the tape, she lays down the law.
The rule is no riding without someone with you, and now we really enforce that rule.
Well, someone ought to tell Randy, because there he goes. Although he disobeys his parents, the young daredevil has learned a valuable lesson from the experience. If he wants girls to flip over him, he's going to have to toughen up.